والله يدعو إلى دار السلام ويهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All praise due to Allah, and His praise and blessings and peace be upon all His prophets and their followers until the day of judgment. My dear brothers and sisters, I welcome you in a new episode from your program, The Robe That Binds Us. As we said before, that the robe which binds us is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have revealed to His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to guide the humanity with, which is the Qur'an and the Sunnah, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the tradition of the Prophet Muhammad, or the message of Islam. The problems comes from how to practice this religion, how to understand these textual evidence, how to implement these guidelines which came in the Qur'an and Sunnah in our daily life. Here comes the importance of understanding the methodology of As-Sunnah wal jama'ah, the methodology of the people of Sunnah and the people of jama'ah. And I give a short or brief background about this terminology, the people of Sunnah and the people of jama'ah, and when it appeared and why actually this terminology appeared in the history of Islam. And we also discussed the importance of establishing unity between Muslims. As we all know, brothers and sisters, it's very important to have a goal to achieve. Our goal is to be united, to be able to come together so we can accomplish more and much to ourselves and to the people who are living with us. But this goal is beautiful. But having the goal is not enough. We need to learn and to know how to achieve this goal. How to achieve this goal. What's the mean to reach and to be able to achieve the goal that we set for ourselves. Here it comes the importance of the methodology of As-Sunnah wal jama'ah. Because basically, this is the way to achieve the goal that you want to establish. You want to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the right way. You want to understand, you want to follow the teaching of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You want to be able to reach Jannah. How to do that? How to be able to implement this in your daily life? That's where we learn, or that goal can be achieved by learning about the methodology of As-Sunnah wal jama'ah. My brothers and sisters, I think it's the time now to go in details a little bit about the meaning of As-Sunnah when we say the people of Sunnah. What we mean by As-Sunnah, what the word As-Sunnah means. This word is very common, people using it a lot. I will be using it a lot in this program, inshaAllah ta'ala. So, the meaning of the Sunnah. I always like to give the linguistic definition of the word, if it's an Arabic word, then the technical definition, So, linguistically speaking, the word Sunnah comes from the word Sanna. And as-sin wal-noon, Sanna, this word is a very common word in Arabic language. The Arab used this word a lot, even before Islam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even mentioned this word in His book several times. And in Surah 4, verse 26, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُبَيِّنَ لَكُمْ وَيَهْدِيَكُمْ سُنَنَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. Allah wishes to make clear to you and to show you the way of the people who came before you. Show you the way, سُنَنَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ, the way of the people who came before you. So, Sunnah here, it means the way. the way or the manner of acting or conducting something. This is the word, this is the linguistic definition of the word sunnah. Whether this way it's a good or bad. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man sanna fil Islami sunnatan hasana." Whoever start or establish a good sunnah in Islam, which is a good way, the people will follow it and will copy it later on, or bad sunnah, which is a bad habit or start a bad thing that people will follow it and will practice it after that. So sunnah fil Islami sunnatan hasana or sayyah. So the way could be good, the way could be bad. But here, technically speaking, we talk about the sunnah, which is the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it's the way of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah be pleased with him and his companions and his followers. So the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, or the way of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But unfortunately, sometimes things can be a little bit more complicated than it could appear. Because the scholars, they have sometimes different definition for the same word. So every and each group of scholar will define the same word with a different definition, because they use this terminology in different ways. And exactly, you will find this a very good example. The word sunnah, technically speaking, have different meaning. So, the technical definition for the word sunnah, as you see here, first, we'll say that the scholar used the word sunnah as a partner to the Qur'an. As a partner to the Qur'an. We say Al-Qur'an and As-Sunnah. Al-Qur'an and As-Sunnah. So, As-Sunnah here is a partner to the Qur'an. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu narrated that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "I have left for you, after me, the book of Allah and my Sunnah." I have left for you, after me, the book of Allah and my Sunnah. So here, تركت فيكم بعدي ما إن تمسكتم به لن تضلوا أبدا كتاب الله وسنتي. So, I have left for you that which if you hold into it, you will never be misguided after me. The book of Allah and my Sunnah. And this hadith is authentic hadith reported by Imam Malik rahimahullah in his Muwatta. So here Al-Qur'an and As-Sunnah. Al-Qur'an is the words of Allah that Jibreel carried to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to the Prophet Muhammad, and delivered to the Prophet Muhammad. So As-Sunnah here will be whatever the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would say, or the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will do, practice from the religion, or what the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will approve from other people's actions and related to the religion, other than Al-Qur'an, other than the words which is delivered as Allah's words. So the Prophet ﷺ recited a verse from Qur'an, this will not be considered sunnah, it will be a Qur'an based on this definition. And if the Prophet ﷺ told his companions something, and he did not say this is part of the Qur'an, or this is not a verse from the Qur'an, it will be considered as sunnah. This definition used by al-usuliyun, or the legal theorists. The muhaddithin, also the scholar of hadith, added to this or any description. So the muhaddithin, the scholar of hadith, the one who studied the science of hadith, said the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is what the Prophet said or did or approved, or any description the Prophet ﷺ was described with. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was described with. Any physical or relating to any physical description, or even if this description related to his manner sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We find another group of scholars that they define the word sunnah with another meaning. They said as-sunnah, it's a counterpart to the fard or wajib. Fard usually used by the Hanafi scholars, and wajib used by the majority of the Muslim jurists. Here it refers to any recommended act. So any recommended act, the Muslim jurist will say it is sunnah, which it means it's not wajib or it's not obligatory on people to practice. Regardless of this action or this rule been mentioned by the Qur'an or by the Prophet ﷺ himself. So in this case, a sunnah could be a verse, could be a hadith or a statement from the Prophet ﷺ. This is the definition which used by the fuqaha or the Muslims jurist. So here it's equal to the word recommended act or mandub. Also, a sunnah used as a counterpart to bid'ah, to the word bid'ah. We say sunnah and bid'ah. Sunnah and bid'ah. And so here it refers to the guidance upon which the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his companions were. If somebody practiced something not from the way of the Prophet ﷺ, we call this bid'ah, or those be called bid'ah. Or it's not from the practice of his companions, it will become an innovation. So he did not follow the way of Muhammad. He followed another way, or other than the Prophet ﷺ's way. So this terminology used a lot by the fuqaha, the Muslim jurists, and also the scholars of Aqidah. Also, it appears in the history of Islam as a counterpart to the Shia. This is Sunnah and Shia. Also, it's a very common use. Also, here it has a very specific meaning. Here it has a very specific meaning. Also, As-Sunnah been used by the scholars of Aqidah, the one who study they study the Aqidah or the Muslim belief. They use the word Sunnah to refer to the correct belief. To the correct belief. That's why you will find a book it's called As-Sunnah by Imam مثلا Ahmad rahimahullah. Usul al-Sunnah, the foundation of Sunnah. Sunnah here it means the belief. So it has nothing to do with the fiqh, with the practicing, with the thing that people will practice, with the issue of fiqh. It's strictly related to the matters of aqidah, or the matters of belief and faith. So this is a very specific meaning. And that's why they use the word, the people of Sunnah sometimes, referring to the people who follow the correct belief. The correct belief, not the one who has a false belief. Sunnah also been used by some scholars equal to the word religion. Equal to the whole religion. That's why you will see Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, the great companion and the first caliph, said, As-Sunnah is Allah's robe. As-Sunnah here means the religion, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to humanity. So they use As-Sunnah to refer to the issue of Aqidah, the issue of the belief, and the issue of fiqh, the things that the people practice, like the Salat rules or the rules of Islam. For instance, Al-Imam Al-Baghawi has a famous book called Sharh al-Sunnah. Sharh al-Sunnah, the explanation of Sunnah. When you open this book, you will find issue related to rules and issue related to belief. So As-Sunnah here refer to the word, or equal to the word, the religion of Islam. We see here that As-Sunnah, technically speaking, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different definitions. And this will lead me to conclude with a very, very important point to leave you with it. Whenever you see a terminology, we need to understand what exactly we mean by this terminology and what the scholars use this terminology for. Because it might be different from one group of scholars to another. It might be different from one century to another. And that's why understanding the nature of the meaning of the words or the terminology is a key to understand any subject. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to understand our religion and to practice in the right way. I will leave you with this point, and I will see you again in the next episode to talk about the meaning, linguistic and the technical definitions of the word jama'ah. وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد.